Hey runners, today we're going to talk about hip mobility and how your hips don't lie, right? So, hip range of motion, what is it and how much of it do you need during running? And why is this so important? So, if your pelvis is like a bucket of water, right, it should be relatively neutral. But what a lot of runners present with is an anterior pelvic tilt, which means the structures in front of the hips, such as the hip flexors, are tight. So they pull the pelvis down, right? So it's almost like the bucket of water is tipping forward and all the water is spilling out. And what happens is the back becomes overarched. In this position, the tight hip flexors don't allow the glutes or allow the hips to actually extend behind you during running. And you need at least 15 degrees of hip extension to propel yourself forward. And when we don't have hip extension, there's one really good way to cheat, which is to overarch your back during running. And when we have a tendency to overarch our back, we have a tendency to overstride and reach forward. And overstriding can lead to injuries such as stress fractures and overuse injuries. So today we're going to show you a few exercises to improve your hip mobility. Okay, so my favorite way to get an increase in hip extension or getting that thigh behind you during running is with a simple couch stretch. So we hold it at a low intensity, long duration, so 2-minute hold. You should be able to get 15 degrees of hip extension without feeling like your hip flexors are going to tear. So what you can also do is prop your foot up on a foam roller and again, work on getting that 15 degrees of hip extension.